In this connection, a word of warning from an acute observer is highly relevant. Quote, "It behooves us to examine carefully the degree of validity as measured by actual behavior of the statement that a benefit of technology will be to increase the number of options and alternatives the individual can choose. In principle, it could. In fact, the individual may use any number of psychological devices to avoid the discomfort of information overload and thereby keep the range of alternatives to which he responds much narrower than that which technology in principle makes available to him. In other words, the real questions are how the individual will exploit the options, to what extent he will be intellectually and psychologically prepared to exploit them, and in what way society as a whole will create a favorable setting for taking advantage of these options. Their availability is not of itself proof of a greater sense of freedom or self-worth. Instead of accepting himself as a spontaneous given, man in the most advanced societies may become more concerned with conscious self-analysis according to external, explicit criteria." Yeah, so the question being, who provides the external? Where does the external, explicit criteria come from? Well, just look at your schools and you'll find out, won't you? What is my IQ? What are my aptitudes, personality traits, capabilities, attractions, and negative features? The internal man, spontaneously accepting his own spontaneity, will more and more be challenged by the external man, consciously seeking his self-conscious image, and the transition from one to the other may not be easy. It will also give rise to difficult problems in determining the legitimate scope of social control, the possibility of extensive chemical mind control, the danger of loss of individuality inherent in extensive transplantation, the feasibility of manipulating the genetic structure will call for the social definition of common criteria of use and restraint. As the previously cited writer put it, while the chemical affects the individual, the person is significant to himself and to society in his social context, at work, at home, at play. The consequences are social consequences. In deciding how to deal with such alterers of the ego and of experience, and consequently alterers of the personality after the experience, and in deciding how to deal with the changed human beings, we will have to face new questions such as, who am I? When am I who? That's a question I've never asked myself. When am I who? When am I who?